Congresswoman has dubbed Wednesday's protests at the University of Berkeley, which turned violent, quote, a beautiful sight.
We have seen demonstrations, and I think we've already talked about that around the country. Young people at Berkeley protesting against this unconstitutional order. And so as we encourage our young people to get involved, I thought it was a beautiful sight.
Now, the riots against a planned event at the campus have raised concerns in the media over free speech. Some say the protests are somewhat ironic, given that the university considers itself a beacon of the free speech movement.
Berkeley University in California, a place to be and be seen.
Life-shaping, world-changing, future-building.
Berkeley. 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 Berkeley.
Berkeley.
Berkeley.
Its official motto is, let there be light. And there was. Isn't the pen mightier than the sword? Seems no one told these students. Extracurricular activities. But there's no expanding of minds here. And all because the guest speaker is a Trump supporter. University's all about discovering your identity, not concealing it.
Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
Attempting to be picture perfect can make you a fashion victim, quite literally.
Thank you.
Are you surprised, ma'am?
This is what radical leftism looks like. I absolutely did not know that was going to happen. I should have known better. Like, I came prepared with a hat. Rioters came prepared with mace, batons, you know, assault weapons. Like, I should have actually known.
You know, a cappuccino won't exactly get your point across. Even your soy milk latte just doesn't taste right. Oh, shut up. It's all fine.
violence is something that has been a big part of what we've seen from the Clinton campaign. There were groups of media that were telling the entire world that this race was locked in for Hillary Clinton. So yes, to many people who followed those news sources, this was a shot. And we're seeing people that are, you know, blocking traffic and that are really, this is called an act of domestic terrorism. The definition of terrorism is when you use violence or a threat of violence to achieve political means. And that's exactly what this is. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think that this is an act of domestic terror.
I wanted to talk about the biggest hypocrisy in our current time. Antifa. I'm going to show you a couple pictures of Antifa quickly. Here's a picture of Antifa goons in Germany posing for a picture. These guys look like anti-fascists fighting against fascism or anything like that. Or do they look like fascists? Now, I'm going to compare them to some right sector goons from Ukraine during Maidan in 2013-2014. Now, they look quite similar, do they not? Both wearing masks, and they preach similar things. They don't look too different. They share two traits: authoritarianism and intolerance. Let's search up terrorism, the definition of terrorism. The use of violence and intimidation in the pursuit of political aims. Another definition that fits Antifa. Antifa, by its very own actions and the definitions, and by definition, are terrorists and fascist as they so despise. Now, while I was doing this research, I found an Urban Dictionary definition for Antifa. Now, it is quite entertaining in my opinion, and I will read it and put it up on the screen for you to read yourself if you don't want to hear my voice. Short for militant anti-fascists, middle-class champagne socialist, communist, anarchist white boys who don't like nationalists or fascists. They consider themselves to be rebelling against the establishment whilst upholding all of its ultra-politically correct views. Antifa only dislike racism when it's carried out by whites, and do not have the bottle to stand up against anti-white racism, leading many people on the right to refer to them as traitors. I'd rather call them morons. Most are teenagers and university students who grow out of the fad when they start paying taxes. Quite fitting, no? Now, that definition sums them up quite well. Most of them haven't had to start paying taxes, or they're so pampered by the system that they'd rather just do this bullshit and practice what they preach against. Now, I found another piece that I'm going to show. It sums up Antifa quite well, just like the Urban Dictionary one, but I'm only going to focus on this one little section here. To them, anything that isn't far left or collectivist is fascist, racist, or Nazi. Now, isn't that funny? They preach the idea of tolerance, yet if you don't agree with them or have similar beliefs to them, they call you a fascist, a racist, or a Nazi. That doesn't sound very tolerant to me. In fact, that sounds quite the opposite. That sounds quite fascist. That sounds almost like some of Mussolini's goons, the Blackshirts. Now, Antifa, they use violence and intimidation to get their way. I'm going to show you two clips of a reporter for the Rebel.media by the name of Lauren Southern being attacked or harassed by these dumb Antifa goons.
That's Oliver, just go that way. fuck off now. Seriously.
No, we're staying here because
Yes,
this
you
is
are.
public property. Oliver, run. You're the fascist. You're denying people free speech. You're denying people free speech.
Fuck off. Fuck
No,
off.
I'm staying here. You're the real fascist, you know that? You don't believe in free speech, you don't believe in our right to be on public property, you are the real fascists! You're covering your face because you're ashamed of what you're doing.
Now, you don't see anybody on the right doing anything that Antifa does, do you? You don't see conservatives or libertarians, you don't see any of them shutting down political rallies, you don't see them protesting leftist speakers coming into Canada to speak their beliefs. No, you don't. Because Antifa are hypocrites. They only do this to the right because the right does not agree with their ultra-politically correct censorship. A living, breathing hypocrisy created by the left and its media. Innocent reporters who did nothing wrong attacked, Antifa practicing the opposite of what they preach. It's abominable.